After her inauguration in January, Arizona's Superintendent of Public Instruction, Kathy Hoffman, says she hit the ground running. A political newcomer and educator herself, much of the focus early on concerned whether the Democrat could get her message across the aisle. While she managed to rally support for some of her causes, conservatives took aim at others. Hoffman recently sat down with me at Arizona Public Media to reflect on her time in office so far. If you had to say there's been one accomplishment during this nearly 1 year, what would it be?
There's many that I'm very proud of. One I would love to highlight is the focus on the social emotional supports of our students, because far too many of our students have experienced some sort of trauma in their life and are coming to school dealing with mental health challenges. But I would say as an accomplishment that it feels like the stars are aligning. We're getting lots of federal funding, state funding to support the social emotional well-being of our students. And for example, one achievement was the additional $20 million of new funding for school safety positions, which does include school counselors and social workers. And our department is in the process of allocating out that $20 million.
Recently, one of Arizona's revenue streams for education funding suffered a setback. A U.S. district judge ruled the voter-approved Prop 123 broke federal law because it raised the amount of money taken from the state land trust without Congress's okay. Arizona took an additional $2 billion out of the trust for education after the measure passed in 2016. Because Governor Ducey's office plans to appeal, Hoffman says it's difficult to predict the ruling's impact. She adds that the issue underscores a bigger problem in the state.
Prop 123 is another Band-Aid fix. I know it's approximately $200 per student that Prop 123 is allocating, but it's a drop in the bucket. When it comes to school funding, we need to look across the entire state, identify those inequities that we see, and make sure that every school, every child has the resources they need to be successful.
Last November, Hoffman became the first Democrat elected to her post in over 2 decades. She believes her experience working in schools as a speech pathologist gave her the ability to communicate her ideas across a Republican-led legislature and remain open to their feedback.
I think listening is a huge part of being a leader, and that's one thing I saw was the need for more communication and sitting down together, getting to know each other, and finding ways to focus on the solutions and not get caught up in controversial issues where, to me, that's a distraction. We need to stay focused on, there are major issues in education we need to work on, so let's not get distracted, let's stay focused on the real problems.
As you look into the next year, what will be some of your priorities?
So my background as an educator is, as I mentioned, as a speech therapist working in special education, and I cannot tell you how many times as I've traveled the state that I've been offered a job, because we still have many openings for special education positions, both special education teachers as well as other specialist positions. And we're also seeing that with the increased cost of special education services, that our schools are underfunded for special education services. So that is an area for this next legislative session that I think there's actually a good amount of bipartisan support. There's been a lot of working groups around how can we properly fund special education, and that's an issue I'm very passionate about, because we know that our students with disabilities are often some of our most disadvantaged.
Beyond her support for increased funding for public education, Hoffman says her office is also taking a closer look at health care benefits and how much teachers pay for coverage.
In fact, many of our teachers are, from year to year, have been paying more and more for their health care benefits, which is actually taking away from their paychecks. So we need to look at the whole picture holistically and understand that the pay is one piece of it, but also looking at their benefits. Their teachers are required to pay about 12% into retirement. Every single paycheck, it's mandatory. So there's a lot of other pieces to the pay and benefits issue, and we want to make sure that we're also regionally competitive with other neighboring states like New Mexico and Utah, which right now we're not, or Texas. Like you can still move to one of our neighboring states and easily make over $10,000 more. So we just need to be aware of the regional trends and where we stand.
Okay, Superintendent Hoffman, thank you.
Thank you so much.